So I just got back from watching arguably the biggest release of the whole year, the movie that surpassed all other Marvel movies to become the highest rated movie in the MCU at a 4.2 on Letterboxd, surpass every non-animated Spider-Man movie to become the highest rated Spider-Man movie, and made $875 million opening weekend. Spider-Man Brand New Day. And what did I think of it? To be honest, I was extremely disappointed. Seeing all the reviews, I figured, oh yeah, I mean, I love Spider-Man. The Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man. His trilogy was my favorite of all the other Spider-Man movies. So obviously I'm going to like this one. It's going to be a smash hit for me. Plus it's setting up Avengers Doomsday. Like, how can I not like this movie? And I liked it. I will say I did like the movie. It's just watching it, I watched it with one of my friends and we agreed that it just constantly feels like there's something missing. I did really like. I've always wanted from the MCU to be like the comics. Like in New York City, you got the Fantastic Four, you got Daredevil, Punisher, Spider-Man, the Avengers. In the comics, New York City is really like the central hub of all the superheroes. And I like that you kind of felt this here. Like the interaction with Yelena were natural, even though I thought her like hideout or like base was stupid. There's Punisher, there's Hulk. It's cool seeing all these heroes in New York City. But then again, they just didn't implement them naturally. Punisher, definitely. Punisher was probably the best part of the movie. His banter with Spider-Man was great, and they had really good chemistry. But then, like, when he went to the college to meet with Professor Banner, I thought that was really cool. Like, talking to him, trying to get his opinion because he's a well-known scientist, but then bringing him back just to be Hulk again for 2 minutes and then just get rid of him like, oh yeah, now he's out of the movie. That just felt like fan service. And I love No Way Home, and No Way Home to me doesn't really feel like that much fan service. And I've never really felt the fan service in a movie before. Like even Rise of Skywalker, people hate that for its fan service. And I don't like that movie. That movie sucks. It's the worst Star Wars movie. And I think that's because of other reasons. I don't really think the fan service really affects it that much. This movie, the fan service drags it down a lot. And spoiler alert now, I don't like Jean Grey in this at all. I think Sadie Sink is a good actor, but the only reason she was cast as Jean Grey is because she's a redhead. They would not have cast her if she wasn't. And in this movie, it just feels like they're not interested in setting up the X-Men, which is what Jean Grey should be doing. The past Spider-Man movies, Homecoming, Michael Keaton Vulture, great villain. Far From Home, Jake Gyllenhaal Mysterio. I don't like how they use Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal played a great villain. No Way Home, a greatest hits medley of villains, sure, but again, it's greatest hits, so they were all great. This movie, the villain is Jean Grey, one of the greatest heroes ever. The X-Men are my favorite characters, and she is a huge part of that, and she has never been evil at any point. Why is she evil here? I get she's upset her sister's dead, but she's just straight up evil. She's possessing people, making them do things they don't want to do. She's taking the security guards, possessing them, and making them shoot other security guards. And, like, I get she's upset for her sister dying, but that doesn't justify this hero making villainous actions. And, like, obviously she turned out to not be the main villain, but even then, the twist villain did nothing once it turned out he was a twist villain. Like, I don't get what the point of having a twist villain was if they just don't do anything with him. And then at the end, like, they just want to redeem her out of nowhere. No, I don't care that she, like, Damage Control was, like obviously being evil because that's a twist villain. She should still be in jail for taking over people's minds and doing bad things as other people. Also, on the topic of villains, like, there were so many villains. The Tombstone, the Foot Clan, or is it the Hand? I forget. I get that mixed up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. And then like Scorpion, they were setting up Scorpion for 3 movies. He was in the post-credit scene of Homecoming, and people were like, "Oh yeah, he's the next villain. Nice, let's go." They're setting up Sinister Six, and then he comes back 3 movies later and does nothing. Like you could have taken him out of the movie and it would not have changed. And it's just like so many things disappointed me. Tom Holland, fantastic, great acting. The man spider plot line, like I don't really know if they wanted him to just fully become man spider. Then why didn't they commit to it? Why is his like DNA like they? I feel like the only reason they had him become man spider is so they could set up more like MJ stuff. Like there was no reason for his DNA to manipulate emotional trauma. Like the other Spider-Man have faced emotional trauma. That doesn't mean their DNA's like evolving and transforming. The MJ stuff, I will say, I didn't like MJ in the past movies. I think like for how important she is to Peter in No Way Home, it's just kind of weird because they had been dating for like 2 months at that point, and they acted like they were like together forever. And this movie, I think, did a good job with that. But then also, like, they're setting up MJ, they're doing all this stuff with her just for her to not appear in the epilogue. Like, why, after Jean froze, like, everybody in a kilometer radius, why would they show MJ frozen with a tear running down her face if she's not going to appear in the rest of the movie? Like, I like the thing with Ned at the end. That was really great. But I feel like it ended too suddenly. I think that was a good way to end it, but I wish they did a little bit more. Now, I think the one thing that people are really latching onto, and it's like inflating their opinion of this movie, is that it's a great representation of Spider Man. And that I do absolutely agree with. I think Spider Man is supposed to be like Superman from last year. It was a great representation of Superman because he was a beacon of hope. That's what Spider Man is. Yes, he's super powered, but he's also kind of just a regular guy. And everybody realizes that. And that scene at the end in the hospital where he's walking through the crowd and everybody's cheering for him, that really exemplifies that. And I did really enjoy that. That was probably my favorite aspect of this movie. But if I had to pick another, it would be the shots. Destin Daniel Creighton, he not as good as John Watts, but he did a great job with the shots in this movie. Some of them were beautiful, like especially in the first 20, 30 minutes. But back to that, not as good as John Watts. I think I'm the biggest Homecoming fan in the world. Homecoming is a 10 out of 10 movie to me. It's in my top 3 MCU, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think No Way Home is the second best Spider-Man movie, and Far From Home is good, not great. But I think a main reason for that is because of John Watts and his amazing scripts, the scripts his movies had. Like, they understood Peter Parker is not Iron Man. He's not Captain America. He's not going to talk like some action hero. He's a kid. He's a kid and he talks to his friends and he builds Legos and stuff. And like he did build Legos in this movie. That's not what I'm like saying. But John Watts in his movies understood who Peter Parker was. And just this movie was really, really missing that script that Homecoming, No Way Home, and Far From Home had. It's just not the same without John Watts. And I love I keep messing up his name. Destin Daniel Creighton. He did great at Wonder Man. He did great for Shang-Chi. But like, I don't know if he should have gotten Spider-Man. I get brand new day, brand new identity. He's changing. It's a new trilogy that may be a trilogy, and they needed a new director to bring a new flavor to the movie. But I don't think that he did nearly as good as John Watts did. Now, I still love Spider Man. I still think Tom Holland's acting is great. I think this movie is pretty good. I really liked it. I enjoyed watching it. I had a good time. A lot of the stuff I had me reacting physically. I laughed. I cried. I had a really good time watching this movie, and it is still a Spider Man movie. I think out of Tom Holland's movies, it's probably third of four, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now, everything I said, 8 out of 10 might seem like a super high rating, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite character ever. I love all of his movies, and I don't think there's been a bad Spider-Man movie yet. And also for the post-credit scene, that was really interesting. I think it's not what I expected. So at the end of Fantastic Four, it said Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. At the end of Thunderbolts, the new Avengers will return in Avengers Doomsday. At the end of this, Spider-Man will return. That's it. Nothing else. And the Spidey tracker showed him in space. They're not going to fight Doom in space. But at the end of Thunderbolts, they showed the Fantastic Four ship coming to Earth from space. In the comics, at one point, Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four. Now, I don't think he'll do that. That's not what I'm saying he'll do. But it's interesting to see, like, what is going to happen with that. I don't think he'll be in Doomsday. And if he is, I think it'll be something really short to show him going to space, and then that'll be it for him, and he'll come back in Secret Wars. So the post-credit scene is not what I'm expecting, but I did really like it.